I thought this would be, and it has been, sort of a very, very fun thing to be part of, just this more direct association with the food. So that's certainly going to keep me going. I'm building 2 more hoop houses, so it must be something good about it.
When I was in graduate school, I worked in the coffee business, and all these people would come in to the cafe. I worked at Espresso Royale on State Street when just after it first opened, and all these people would come in and they would be happy, and they would be excited, and they would be talking about whatever was happening in their lives, and I would make coffee for them, and then I would stand outside on a break and have a cigarette and look in, and I'd look at all these people, and there'd be 200 people or 100 people in there, and they'd all be happy. And they'd all be pleased about buying a cappuccino and having their, the power of the community all coming together. And there was everybody in that place. It wasn't like just punk rockers, and it wasn't just business people. It was like they were sitting next to each other and they were joining each other's conversations, and they were, people were falling in love, and people were dating, and people were, studying, and all these kind of crazy things. And I thought, man, that's awesome. Like, food could really be powerful, if it's done correctly. Well, my relationship with food goes all the way back to when I was a little kid. My grandfather was a baker, and then moved up from baking to being a route driver, and from being a route driver to being a manager for a big bakery concern out of New York, and then he got transferred from New York to Ohio, and then from Ohio to Michigan. And so when I was a kid, because he loved food, he would always have me cooking with him. So we always made Thanksgiving dinner together, always made Christmas dinner together. From the earliest, was one of the lucky kids that got pulled into the kitchen and taught how to cook. So there's 2 things I'm trying to accomplish. One is starting with where people are at, and then trying to get them from, maybe not paying attention to food at all to paying attention to food a lot. So we have a lot of products here that aren't grass-fed or aren't what we would consider to be sustainable or necessarily in keeping with what we value about food. But if we alienate people and make them feel bad about not knowing, then we're going to be in trouble. So the first step is to keep the ladder down, and so if you have things like, industrial Havarti that's behind us there, people grew up with that stuff, or, cheddar that's pasteurized. They might say, oh, okay, this place is okay. So I want people to feel comfortable. From there, I think moving to pastured meats, it just makes sense. I don't know what happened here, but you're feeding cows food that they can't naturally digest. I mean, they don't eat grains, they eat grass. So where did who was the brainiac who thought it would be okay to feed something that's not good for it, or feed cows? I mean, it's just like, it's mind-blowing. So I think our goal is to work back towards what makes sense, maybe what our grandparents ate or our great-grandparents ate. They didn't not eat fat. They didn't have, I'm going to take all the fat out of food and put sugar in, and then not have the common sense to say, well, geez, what does a human do with all that sugar? It's like, well, it converts it to fat, folks. It's not that complicated. But if you raise people to not be critical thinkers, then you're headed for trouble. So we're trying to fight all that stuff without making anybody feel bad. So that's the trick, I think, is to not take a holier than thou, but just take a, hey, check this out kind of attitude. So that's what we're shooting for.